Okay, Miss Whitaker here, and I wanted to go over some of the practice problems for literal equations. Literal equations are just equations that we're solving for a variable when there's multiple variables in the equation. We looked at number 1 on the practice problems. This was the distance formula, d equals r times t. So that's distance equals the rate times time. And this time we're solving for r. We want to solve for the rate. So we need to isolate our variable. We want to isolate the r. So right now I've got to multiply by t in the way. So I need to think of the inverse operation of multiplication. So that's division. So I need to divide by t on both sides. Those will cancel, and I'm left with r equals d over t. And that's all I can do. That's all I know. So I did solve for r. I isolated my r. It's d over t. Let's do number 6. Number 6 says solve a, big A, equals a plus b over 2, and we're solving for b. So we want to isolate this b right here. All right, so right now I can see I've got a plus a in the way, and I have a division by 2 in the way. So if we remember the steps that we take, in this case, we're going to need to get rid of the division by 2 first, because I can't subtract that a until I wash all my fractions out. So to get rid of that divided by 2, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Those will cancel, and I've got 2a on the left, and I have a plus b on the right. Now remember, I'm still solving for b, so I got to get rid of the a. And how would I get rid of the a? Subtract a on both sides, and I end up with b is equal to 2 big A minus a, and then I'm done. I've isolated my b, and I don't know what the big A and the little a stand for, but it doesn't matter. I've solved it. That's as far as I can go. All right, let's look at number 7. It looks like a volume, length times width times height. That's volume of a prism. So I'm going to solve for the width this time, just the W. So I need to isolate the W, and right now I have a times L and a times H in the way. So I need to just divide those. If I divide them, then they're going to cancel, but I got to do it on both sides. So now W is equal to V, the volume, over length times height. And so that is my answer. So in every case, we're just isolating the variable that they're asking us to solve for, and that means everything else needs to go to the other side. And so we use inverse operations to move it away so we can isolate our variable. All right, let's do another problem. Let's do number 9. All right, number 9 is asking us to solve for y for ax plus by equals c. So we need to solve for the y right here. We need to isolate it. So let's do step by step. What do we need to do to get rid of everything else on that side, that plus ax and that multiply by b? So we're going to take care of the ax first. We're going to subtract ax from both sides. And I'm left so far now, I've got by on one side, and I have c minus ax on the other side. Okay, and then I need to get rid of the times b. So how do I get rid of the times b? I divide by b on both sides, and now I'm left with y equals c minus ax divided by b. And I've isolated my y, and that's all I have to do. You don't have to understand what c or a or x or b or anything else is. We're just doing all the inverse operations, and all it takes to isolate the variable that I'm solving for. All right, let's do one more. Let's do number 16. This is the interest formula, I equals PRT. That's interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time in years. So they want us to isolate the R, so isolate the rate, your interest rate. And so what I'm going to do is get rid of the P and the T, so I need to divide the P and the T, and those will cancel out, but do it on both sides. So my R is equal to the amount of interest divided by the principal and the time in years, and then I'm done. I've solved for R, and that's what they've asked me to do. I I think that should help you out. So try your homework. It's just the 8 problems on the back. And do your best, and we'll check it tomorrow.